Could you walk in my shoes for 1 week?
These shoes are just spectacular. I don't want to tell you. A week? Oh, for much more than a week in those magnificent shoes. Wow. And guess what? I might even be tall enough to play basketball.
But do you think you can walk in them for 1 week? Be honest. No. If you cannot walk in my shoes for 1 week, then how can you tell me what I should do? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, I would like to take you to a week of my life. As you can see here, I have a t-shirt that says, "Standing Strong for Education." And as most of you know, I am a union rep, so I do stand strong for education. I just want to take you starting on Saturday, when I have to sit down and start my lesson. That takes about 5 to 7 hours. Why does it take so long, you say? Because I have a special class. In my special class, I have special students. My class I have is called SEI, Sheltered English Emerging. These students their first language is Spanish, and their parents want them taught in English. So I have to take each of them and make sure I give them special language development. Wow. I'm passing out a paper now to give you an idea of what I have to go through when I'm planning my lessons. Each child is tested, and they have a language development that they are. So I have in my class 4 language levels. I have a beginner, 1. I have about 3 or 4 early intermediates. I have a few intermediates. I have 1 or 2 early advanced. And I have 2 EOs, which is called English only, who do not belong in my class at all. But because parents requested them to be in my class, because we are a track system and they want them on my track, I have to have the English only. So when I'm doing my lesson plans, I have to make sure that I have questions for each of those language levels that I am planning for. So when I'm planning my reading, I have to make sure I have questions for my beginner, all the way to my English only. Walk in my shoes for 1 week, starting with the lesson plans. And tell me I make too much money. Tell me that my day ends at 3:30. I don't have time to spend time with family and friends, a lot of time. But the big business said, teachers make too much money. They haven't been in the classroom. They don't know my children. They don't know what I see. They don't know what I feel. On the second page, I kind of outlined a little bit on the bottom. Just make it a little bit, clearer in grammar. With my 1 beginner, I have to also pull groups. So I have to pull her by herself and give her language development. So I have to make sure she's able to recognize and identify various parts of speech. And this I have to do with illustrations, where I cannot give my English onlys any language development. It's against the rules of English language development. And everybody knows the children that are in low economic need language development, no matter what home they come from. Whether their language is English first or Spanish first. But I cannot give it to them, or I'm violating the rules. Is that fair? No, it's not. So I have to get her all the way to where it says the English language standards before the end of the year. Just walk a week in my shoes and tell me I make too much money. Now let's take a look at this next page, next 2 pages. I couldn't put it all in one. I want you to see my children. I want you to see what I see. I have children whose parents don't speak English. Of course, I couldn't put their names on there for, privacy. Their parents don't speak English, so what does that mean with homework? Who's going to help them? And I'm supposed to have them ready for the CSTs at the end of the year in May. They don't get help with homework. And they're supposed to understand how to do the work. Look at all the English language learners I have in my class. In the 15 students, I have 13 English language learners. Low readers, low fluency, absent a lot, often tardy, ADD, diagnosed, come to school unclean. How about free lunch? Every last one of my students get free lunch. I have 2 girls. Every month, our class has to go and get head checks. I often laugh because I don't have to worry about it. We all know what that means, right? But we have to get head checks. And my 2 girls, I know they're saying in their mind, oh my gosh, I hope it's not me this time. Because they know that they're going to be the one of them are going to have to stay back. And all the kids in the class know it's one of those 2 girls are the reasons we have to do head check. Because they have lice every other month. That means 2 to 3 days away from school. They have to miss. See what I see. Hear what I hear. Feel what I feel. And tell me I make too much money. Tell me that my pay should be attached to my test scores. Know my children. Understand my children. Feel what my children have to feel. And see what they have to go through. And you tell me that big businessman knows me.